Hi, I'm Heather Stevenson. I'm with SoCal Parrot Free Flight, and this is Rose. And if you've been following our story, yes, I know, thank you. If you've been following our story, Rose ended up having a fly off on Sunday afternoon. So I want to tell you about it and also tell you what I learned from it, because so many times we're posting pictures about our birds all free flying, and it looks pretty and looks fun, but there's a lot of that goes into it, and being prepared is number one. But anyway, Rose is going to help me tell the story. So we were out flying with roughly 9 other macaws, and 2 of my own, and we're having a great day. She's been used to flying with big birds, and so she's never had any issue. When it was hot towards the end of the day, about roughly 3:30, she took off. They all took off, and ended up going to on like a 15-minute flight. So my first thing was I shouldn't have been flying her with big birds like that, because she's smaller. She can't keep up with that type of stuff. So she ends up, she splits off from the group. These 3 ravens chased her, and this was in Awanga, and it was on backing up to BLM land, and so there was a complete mountain range. It was a level 5. The topography is extremely difficult. There's lots of snakes, lots of risk. She flew over the mountain and never to be seen or heard from again. So we immediately placed an ad on a local neighborhood page, and ended up putting flyers out, went and spoke to neighbors, tried to figure out how we could get, because even though it was about 5 miles on the other side of the mountain, it would take 30 minutes to go around. And so we offered her a reward and everything. We had an amazing team of people. We had people that came and helped us look that I've never met. I had people that took time off of work. We had so much support, and it was great. And so I wanted to share with you all how we found her. Someone saw the neighborhood post, they could hear her, and because she makes certain sounds and everything, and they knew it didn't sound like a wild bird, and sure enough, it was her. So I will also post that video as well below. So I want to just real quick go through what I learned from this whole process. One is, there is risk with free flying your birds. That's just the truth of the matter. So your birds may never fly off, but there is risk there, and you just need to understand it. And I had to come to the conclusion that if she died out there, for me, she was doing what she loves to do. She loves to free fly. So sorry, she's turned around. Train your birds. Even if you don't free fly, if somebody leaves the door open, your bird goes out, you want to be able to have recall training. You need to make sure the diet is spot on. Because if they are getting nuts and seeds in the regular diet, they really have no motivation to come back to you. So you definitely need to do it. Plus, it's the right thing to do for them from a health standpoint. Definitely fly with a flock. We have so many people we fly with, and there's lots of people with eyes on it, and it makes such a big difference in if you lose a bird. I'm not that great at directional things, and people like Ryan and Sven that we were at their home, they are really good at that. So we all were like, okay, we know where we're going to go look for her. In the end, we figured flew over 5 miles back and forth over the mountain range, which is pretty incredible for this bird. And when I got to the house, she kind of looked at me. She was in a eucalyptus tree. She looked at me, kind of like confused for a second, and then she's like, oh, it's Mom, and she flew over to me, and tears of joy. It was amazing. But be prepared for the unexpected. She's never once flown off. She's always hits her mark. And so, I got a little lazy. So I didn't come prepared. So some of the things I learned was to be prepared for a fly off, even if you're not expecting it, because we were in a remote area. We didn't have a printer. We didn't have things that we needed. And luckily, other people that were flying with me did, and that made a huge difference. Sunscreen, water, really important. Having the favorite treats, like we have a treat bag, and they know when they get this, their favorite treat, they know that they're going to get something. So that's really important. GPS, they make GPS. Marshall's radio is a GPS system, and they make a GPS that fits her. And so it's an actual harness mount. So we're going to be putting that on her. She didn't like it before, so we're going to have to train to that. So business cards with the bird's information on it. That's important because when you're going to talk to neighbors to see if you can go on their property, you want to have a way for them to get in touch with you. Having posters, flyers already made up, and having tape in your bag is super important. You know, we always would use phones to communicate. Well, on this mountain range, there was no cell service. So these are Garmin radios that have a lot longer range that we can talk to each other and make sure we get the word out on search parties. First aid kit, for sure. The support, support staff. If you have a friend who's lost a bird and you want to help and you're not close by, the things you can do is you can start calling local vet offices. You can call the pet stores. You can call all these things. Also, all my birds are microchipped. Having the microchip numbers with me is really, really important. And the biggest thing too is not to freak out. And this was really hard for me. I had to almost like emotionally detach from her and believe that I was looking for someone else's bird. So therefore, I wasn't crying and like, because there's times that I felt like collapsing. I was just so upset. The faster you get the word out through flyers and social media, the better. But the thing that I did, which I don't recommend, is I put on how much the reward was, which is $3,000. That gets attention of a lot of scammers, and so I would just say a sizable reward. I had people calling me saying, I have your bird, and if you don't give me the money, I'll kill your bird, things like that. When I ask them questions like, where'd you find her? They're like, Anaheim. Well, Anaheim was roughly almost 3 hours away, so we knew she wasn't there. So you have to be careful. Also have a carrier with you, because when you find them, they're freaked out, and you need to have a way of keeping them safe. The other thing that works really well are pillowcases, and having extra pillowcases in your pack, your emergency pack, is really important. Also having things like hiking boots. Like I had tennis shoes on, I'm like, but we're in a topography that you need hiking boots and long pants and things like that. The best advice I had, so we had great friends, Marianne and Rob Baker. They were there from Arizona. They were going to be leaving the next day. And they were like, when she didn't come home Sunday night, and then Monday comes around, and then that morning, you want to get out an hour before daylight, because your best chance of getting them is in the morning. And so that's what we were trying to do. And by the time I came back, and we went to different areas, we were flying our birds. Oh, that was one other thing. Teaching your bird a contact call, and also taking a video of your bird flying and making the noises it normally does, because I was constantly trying to explain a gray has a very different noise from a macaw. So, but we would take our birds and we would fly them in the areas we thought she would be at to maybe flush her out. Turns out she wasn't in that area at all, and we were searching in the wrong area. But best advice I got was, my friend Marianne, she says, I don't want you boo-hooing it up. She's like, we're here, we're gonna find your bird, and I'm not leaving until we do. And that strength is what someone who is going through that needed at that moment. And so, I have so many things to give. SoCal Parrot Free Flight, Ryan and Sven, amazing. There was Ben, who is part of SoCal Parrot Free Flight, but I'd never met him, came out. He had Marianne and Rob Baker, my kids, my husband, my team, who kept work going. And that's one other thing too, when something like this happens and you have other animals at home, you need to have a backup plan for them too, so people know how to take care of them and everything can run smoothly. So I hope that you find this helpful, and again, and this is it, one other thing. birds do not fly at night. So if you're calling to offer support or whatever, it's best to wait until nighttime, because anything that's taking the owner's attention off of searching for their bird could be a problem. So that is a big thing, and I'll put a whole little checklist below as well. And in the meantime, that's our story, right, Rose? Here, come here. Why you keep turning your back? Say hi. Have a kiss. Yes. So thank you for listening. Have a great day.